If you know anything about DMC, you would know that it's the series' tight and fast-paced combat that makes this game as amazing as it is. So how does DMC5 compare to previous entries? Well, I'm no combo god, but from personal experience, it's mostly the same as before with a couple of things added to make combat extremely dynamic. For Nero, it's his double breakers. There are multiple different double breakers that offer different playstyle. Some are for more offensive options such as Overture and Punchline, and some are more defensive such as Gabera and Ragtime. Holding circle will charge up your double breaker for a super powerful attack. Or B if you're fucking weird. Only downside is once you use it, the double breaker will break and you'll be forced to switch to the next one in order. If you get hit while using one, that will also break it. If you get surrounded or get grabbed by an enemy, you can use breakaway to break away. This will also cause the double breaker to break, so use with caution, kids! Dante's moveset is practically the same with the exception to him getting new weapons which provide new movesets such as the Balrog or his motorcycle. Nothing really new to Dante, so let's move on to Destry Smith, V. V's combat is very strange. He doesn't attack himself, so instead he summons a bird, who is commonly referred to as a chicken might I add, and T'Challa. All V does is watch them clean house and then steals the kill with his cane. It's really slow and difficult at first, but then you get used to it. Kind of. It was interesting playing as V, but I prefer Nero over V and Dante. Certain missions do allow you to pick the character you want to play as, so that's pretty neat. Wish I had more to say besides it's what we know and love with some new additions, but I mean, is that really a bad thing? The story in DMC5 is very easy to understand even if you've never played a DMC game before. Basically, Nero gets his arm stolen and wants revenge after finding out the guy who stole it is the Demon King usurper Urizen. V recruits Dante and Nero to help defeat Urizen before he destroys the world. Sounds like your typical anime plot. Knowing the entire lore helps the world and characters seem richer. There's actually a novel for DMC5 called Before the Nightmare, and it clears up a few questions so players have that extra bit of insight. Such as, what happened to Dante after DMC2? Or where did Nico come from? It even explains how V met Morrison. And all these things are never talked about in-game, which could upset some, but this information isn't vital to the story. Man, that would be really stupid if you expect people to view other media to understand your game. Damn, I'm mean today. The first half of this game is Nero and V trying to find out what happened to Dante, Trish, and Lady in the prologue. It's very strong in the first half and somewhat gives the player a reason to press on. Even the first couple missions with Dante are an absolute blast. Then it happens. The story just goes full anime in the second half. Great, now that I'm done with Devil May Cry 5, I can work on the review. But I don't have the power to do one. I got it. I'll be like Dante and use my double trigger. Whew. There we go. Now, on to the review.
Alright, time to kick some ass.
So Devil May Cry 5 is the latest installment to the Devil May Cry series that we've waited for since 2008. The canon Devil May Cry series. Not you. Leave. Anyways, I'm going to split this review up into 3.5 parts. Presentation, then gameplay, then a non-spoiler story section, and end with a small spoiler story discussion. Don't worry, I'll put a timestamp for those who don't want spoilers. Now with all that being said, let's begin. The graphics in DMC5 are amazing. The developers went for a more realistic look this time around, and while most people miss the older, more anime-esque art style in previous games, I prefer the newer, more realistic style, honestly. It looks very appealing and the animations characters have are really well done, like the run animations for Dante, Nero, and V. The environment that surrounds the player is my favorite in terms of presentation. It feels like they took the level design from DMC's Devil May Cry, yes, that one, and improved on it. I was a fan of the levels in the reboot, and to see them realized here in DMC5 makes me a happy camper. Same thing goes for the enemy design. Some enemies look absolutely weird and terrifying, while others look like enemies from the original DMC trilogy. I'm indifferent about this, as I'm not a fan of most of the smaller enemies for the sole purpose that they are either too easy or annoying as hell, but we'll get to that later. The last thing I want to talk about in presentation is the actual character design. When they were first revealed, I thought it looked like 100% grade A, no GMO horseshit. But then Dante's looked grew on me while I played through, and Ladies was fine too. Nico has the best considering she's first revealed in this game. You can't redesign a first appearance. Nero looks meh to me, not horrible, but not great either. Trish looks weird to me, not bad, but weird. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just not feeling it. And last but not least, the worst looking character is none other than J. Von Monroe. I mean V. Yeah, that. But that's not even the worst thing about him. It's actually his mouth. Throughout the entire game, he looks like a goof every time he talks, especially the scene where he first meets Dante and do this super weird zoom in on his mouth. And it's just so ugly. Other than that, I'm very pleased with the presentation of the game, as you can see the hard work they put into it. Devil May Cry is a series of ups and downs. For every good couple of DMC games, there's a couple of bad ones. Devil May Cry 5 tries its damnedest to make sure it doesn't end up being one of the bad ones, and it succeeds. I won't be putting a number on this review or any from now on, and instead will summarize this game's worth in a sentence or two. Devil May Cry 5 is a game for fans of the original DMC games, fans of DMC Devil May Cry, and newcomers who want to know what all the hype is about. It's a great game with beautiful graphics, amazing gameplay, and a satisfying ending to the Sons of Sparta saga. Aw man, my double trigger wore off. I'm sure I'll be able to activate it again soon. With that being said, always remember that devils may cry. Peace.